are from third year, and he's from second year.
And what about the others on that 10-member team?
Only one is other second year, and all are third years.
Third year students. Okay, but you know, when one talks about a car, when anybody talks about a vehicle, what one obviously would assume that there would be a gear mode in place. Is that true for your car as well?
We don't have any gears. Actually, the problem is that the energy from the solar panels is limited. So if we put gears in the car, the efficiency of the car would be reduced because gears consume some amount of energy. So the best option that we had was to go with a single reduction drive. That means no gears. So we are having no gears at all.
So it's a gearless car, but then lots of power. All right, you know what we'll do right now is take a very short break right here on this special that we're putting out to you on Headlines today. But on the other side, we continue chatting with these very special guests right here. Stay with us. Giving out to you now, we're talking about solar cars. Now what we're thinking about is the era of solar car really in? Are the days of petrol and diesel engines over and done with? Well, not so fast. Evidently, this dream car needs to undergo a lot of cosmetic and technical changes before it can proudly bear the mantle of being usable by all.
The solar car is bound to revolutionize our lives, but it might not be acceptable to the common man in its present form. First up, a single-seater is a no-go. The car should have at least a couple of seats. Keeping this in view, this is what the students of Delhi College of Engineering have designed. The two passengers in this car will be seated not side by side, but each behind the other, to allow ample space for the solar panels. And lest we forget, the more civilized method of using the doors to enter and exit will have to be incorporated.
पैनल्स की पोजीशन को हम लोग चेंज करें, किसी को ऊपर रखें, किसी को साइडवेज रखें, तो उस तरह से हम बॉडी डिज़ाइन को चेंज करके इस कार को एक कमर्शियल ड्रीम बना सकते हैं अगर हमें गवर्नमेंट और प्राइवेट कंपनी सपोर्ट करे तो.
And undoubtedly the most important question. At 10 lakhs, this car is way beyond the budget of the commoner, notwithstanding the zero expense on gas. But the young guns from DCE believe that production on a commercial scale will slash away 2/3 of the cost.
When we'll produce it on a mass scale, this will probably cost around 2.5 to 3 lakhs.
It's unimaginable now, but once ready, a solar car can run without any hiccups for over 2 decades. We are talking about zero maintenance and zero energy costs here.
Basically, it's a maintenance-free vehicle, not much of maintenance required. We need to check the connections regularly, plus the cleaning part of the solar panels. They are coated, so there's no harm water can do to it. And the isolation switches, in case of any emergency, we can use the isolation switches. So the fire extinguisher also, plus the insulation thing, we blind the things and we can prevent the heat, not much heat is there.
Clearly, it might be a long and expensive haul, but it might just be worth it. With Aruni Kansina in Delhi, Urvashi Kapoor for Headlines Today.
So perhaps it's really not that easy to get that car into place. Ankur, coming back to this whole aspect of, you know, some technical changes, some cosmetic changes that are needed to the car, what are these really all about?
Well, first of all, the change would be in the body design. According to the regulations of the event, we have made this car, but if we are going to apply it on the road, we'll have to change the body design. We'll have to put some transparent strong sheet on the top of the panels. Right now we are having glass, they can break easily. Plus the seating arrangement is quite complex. The driver gets into a cockpit like a jet plane. So if we are talking about a normal car, the doors have to be put on the sides. That's all for this car.
Alright, what do you think is the best feature of the car, Mohit?
Design. Seriously, I like the design. Small car, small height and really fast.
So what are the dimensions of the car?
Its length is 4 meters, height just 1 meter.
So how would it really compare to a car that you would see on the roads?
A normal car have greater height because they have doors on the side, and also it is length is obviously, Corolla has 5 meters and it is 4 meters. Length is obviously, but width is large. Its width is 1.8 meters, which is something large.
So Raman, what next after this project?
Well, first our aim is to represent India well there in the Australian Solar Challenge that is to be held there in Australia. Then we'll see further what to be done.
So once you're back, how hopeful are you really of getting that prize there?
Well, we were quite hopeful. Means we're representing India for the very first time, and that itself is a big achievement for us. So we're not expecting that to be in the top 3 or something like that, but we're expecting we'll try and do our best
It's an effort nonetheless.
It's an
is what
effort,
you're-
yeah, it's an effort, completely. And we have put on a lot of hard work in it. Each and every team member has done a great deal of hard work.
So, all right, looking at that car, it's all about solar panels that have been covered, if you're talking about a dashboard and all of that. But, colors, variety, when you're talking about vehicles, anybody would want to have a colorful vehicle. Are you guys also looking at that dimension?
Yeah.
Because if you cover it, I guess the solar panel is just lost then.
Actually, we have a problem with the solar panels. The color of the panels that we were seeing on the TV is the color of the silicon. It cannot be changed. But the color of the car can be changed. So if this car has to be brought in the commercial domain, some adjustment has to be done regarding the color of the solar panels.
So what
Definitely it cannot be
adjustments are you
changed.
guys planning to make then? This is of course looking very ahead to the future, if things work out well and all of that. But
to make this project commercially viable, industry interference is definitely required. It means a little bit of refinement here and there, and this car will be a big success at the commercial level.
so has that kind of help been forthcoming so far, or are you guys looking all out and going all, just like you're telling us, those two girls have to go out and do all of that work for you?
We're still searching for the funds. Means the funds are still a bit on the lower side. We're still approaching the companies for the more and more funds.
So what do you think is actually giving your model competition when you go for that
And the other
competition?
cars, obviously, because they also have the same.
So what
design.
about the other cars is what I'm trying to ask you.
They are from developed nations. They have more technology, light panels, lightweight basically, and higher efficiency panels. And we are from a developing nation. But obviously, India, we have the best of our country, and we will try to give them a competition. But obviously, I'll give you an example. There's a car from Honda. It costs 6 crores, and while our car costs only 10 lakhs. So
okay, so that's the kind of discrepancy that you're actually talking
obviously
about.
you can't compare, but we are hopeful toward completing the competition. Not obviously competing them, but completing the competition.
So when did
completing
this
the race.
idea of entering the competition, did you always have that in mind, or it was just about designing the car and then the competition happened, so you're putting your car in the competition?
Actually, entering the competition was like a dream. There is a movie, Halle Berry star movie, where is the son on the competition. So we just watched that movie when we were small, and entering this competition was like a dream. And I hope, and the team hopes, that this dream is realized now.
Well, he was inspired by that film. What about you?
Because DC is a hub for cars, because if you are in mechanical, you have to be in a car team. And so that's why we have in a car team. And a solar car that will represent India for the first time, obviously. Pollution, environment, and for representing your country at the international level. That feels great.
What about you, Roman?
It's a legacy that we're carrying forward. In Delhi College of Engineering, it's a legacy to make cars. We made hybrid cars and solar car. Means we're doing a good job here.
So finally, before we end, what's your dream?
Our dream is to win the competition.
All right, so all the very best to these three young gentlemen who've joined us on the show today. In fact, we're just hoping that the sun continues to shine on them as well as their car, which we hope will win that competition and floor everyone in Australia. Thank you so much for having tuned in.
From Bloggers Block.